Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game. Today starts off, we're running a little bit late, but our Parappa the Rapper month, dedicated to all you fans who voted for it. So, we're starting off with the titular title, Parappa the Rapper for the PlayStation.
Released in 1997, this was a Sony PlayStation exclusive. Well, it later got ported to the PSP, but it was developed by Nanaosha?
Goddamn Japanese!
Yeah, it's about right. And published by Sony. This is a game that people clamor for and love. But, to be perfectly honest, Brian and I did not play this as kids. So we have no nostalgia babies going into this. We're going to look at it pure. Let's get into it.
Throughout this whole review, you're going to notice my score and Jim's score is drastically different. Jim enjoyed it a whole lot more, so that's just going to kind of keep that in your head when we're each talking about our respective parts.
Chop, kick, it's all in the mind. Ow, ow, ow.
You can bet your ass Jim got slapped a lot for this bullshit game.
I didn't pick it!
You didn't help it either, did you?
What, by beating it?
Anyway, let's look at these graphics. Right off the bat, it's a very stylized graphic.
It's so cute! Ow!
Oh, I'm gonna enjoy every slap I do this video. But it's that 2D kind of Paper Mario look. It's unique. I'll give it points for that. But in my eyes, when you're evaluating graphics, it's what appeals to you and what is the system actually capable of. We know the PlayStation is capable of much better, but for some people like Jim, this is a cute style. He likes cute things, and that's why he's a girl.
Girl nothing.
That's why he likes weird Japanese fetish things.
No, not all of them.
Anyway, take a look at it. I don't actually have an issue that it is colorful and this and that, but it just wasn't a style I could get behind. And even on a CRT TV, the image just kind of came in wavy for me. I just didn't appreciate it the way Jim did. So as you see from our scores, I gave it a 5, Jim gave it an 8. It's gonna go like this most of the video, so just stay put. And as far as beer, I'm adding 2 beers right off the bat, because you're gonna need it to deal with some of the fucking freaky things you're gonna see throughout this game.
Oh, the sound. How I love the sound. Alright, right off the bat, this is a rhythm-based game, so it's based all around music. And you know what? It is catchy as hell. And look, you're going to be playing through the game and playing through the same songs a lot because it's hard, but you're going to wind up getting these stuck in your head. Chop Chop Master Onion and Mussolini, I mean, those are all timers. And I like the Reggae Frog, whatever his name was as well. But the whole game is just quality, and all the tracks have different feels to them too, which is good. It's not just one straight beat or one straight style. The voice acting is goofy. Now, I'm going to give it credit and say it's probably not taking itself seriously, but, I mean, it can be a little rough, especially if it's not your deal.
Sucks!
Yeah, Bri was not enthralled by it at all. So, cut a long story short, I gave it an 8, Brian gave it a 7, and as far as beer goes, you don't need any beer for this.
The control. As a quick disclaimer, what I'm about to say will probably be repeated for the next 2 titles in the series. But, as Jim mentioned, it is a rhythm-based game, and as you can see up top, they give you your little tracks, and you just follow the button input. But a fun little fact is, you actually don't have to follow that button input. As I learned, you can just mash the buttons, and as long as you keep semi with the beat, you can get just as good of a score if you hit the buttons perfectly. Or if you're like Jim, and you're really good with musical instruments and you get your own creative rhythm, then you'll get the cool rating, which unlocks a different little cutscene. Putting that aside, the actual input is okay. Jim had major issues at first with lag because he was using his game capture card on his HD TV. Then when he switched over to a CRT, it was much better for him. I didn't have that lag issue, but even with that, this game is just brutal with the timing. You have to be so friggin' precise. Like, you just have no time right at the beginning. As soon as it hits to Parappa, like, it's already a second too late. So you really have to anticipate, and it's a game you have to kind of recognize the patterns. But hey, like I said, you could be like me and just kind of mash the buttons, and you might be able to stumble your way through it. Now, the later stages get much tougher, which I'm sure Jim will talk about. But either way, I just found the control kind of bullshitty because what they're showing you isn't always what you actually have to use. So as you see from the scores, I gave it a 4, Jim gave it a 6. I'm gonna add another 2 beers. You know why? Because control don't mean shit in this game.
Alright, the gameplay. Actually, it's kind of a tough category to call because really the control and the gameplay are almost one and the same. So, to reiterate what Bryce said, you do have the rating system. But in order to get cool ratings, you have to go through the game one time. So, you beat the whole game, you can go through, and then you can fuck around a little more and try to get those cool ratings. If you get the cool ratings on every level, you unlock secret mode. You get practice modes, you can replay your best scores of your last thing that you saved. So that's cool as well, little things like that, but it's kind of what you see is what you get. If you play it on easy, the game ends after level 3, so it encourages you to play on normal, so you can't be a noob like Brian.
Got further than you.
Fuck that, I beat the game.
I taught you.
You didn't teach shit. You didn't teach me nothing.
I'm your chop onion master, bitch. Yeah.
Anyway, I can't stress enough that if you really want to give this game a fair shot, play it on a CRT TV. You need to have the exact lag that it was set for, or you're gonna go insane. Anyone who saw my Twitter rant a while back would know what I'm talking about. Bri gave it a 5, I gave it a 7. I enjoy games like this, so of course I'd give it a higher score. And as far as beer goes, I'm going to add just 1 beer for that damn precision lag.
So if you're still listening throughout this video, you may think I'm being unfair, but what I'm about to show you is I can be very fair to a score that deserves it, unlike Jim.
What?
But just looking at this game, hearing the music in the game, the story, if whatever you want to call it, the goofiness, everything about this game is original. There's nothing here to complain about. It's completely original. Yes, it's not the first rhythm game, but it is the first major one, especially for a console, and even more specifically in this style. So really, there's nothing for me to complain about. Jim and I completely agree. This game gets 10s for originality. I won't add a beer because that's one area where this game comes through in spades.
Alright, replayability. Well, first things first, the game is hard, like we've said. So, it's actually going to take you a while to get the feel for the game, and then after that, it's going to take you a while to beat the later levels, which do get pretty rough. And then after that, it'll take you even longer to go through each of the levels again, and figure out the best ways to get the cool ratings so you can unlock everything. Outside of that, there's no multiplayer mode, and you're not going to really use the practice mode once you know what you're doing, so to keep it fair, we both gave it 6s. And as far as beer goes, I'll add 2 beers for having to play it twice to get everything done.
So overall, this is a game you're probably either going to love or hate. I doubt there's going to be very many in-the-middle people on this. We know from the voting that the people who voted for this game clearly loved it, and our guesses was it was mostly nostalgia. While as the other people who wanted some other titles were probably pissed, because they're like, why would you want to play through that game? But either way, looking at this objectively, Jim is a guy, he loves the rhythm-based games. I don't mind them, but they don't grab me the same way. I can go through them once or twice and I'm kind of done. Jim, he'll have fun with this for a very long time. So, keeping all that in mind, this is a really original game and it has a very unique art style. As you see, I gave it a 5, Jim gave it a 7. I wanted to be a little more fair with my score. My initial intention was to give this a 3, but when I considered the whole package, that's why I kept it at 5. When we combine our entire scores together, it's a 6.7, which is fair because it's clearly above average just from an originality and a sound standpoint. And if you're like Jim and you love the style and you love the gameplay, it'll suit you well. But it's still definitely not a perfect game. It has some control issues.
Chop! Kick! It's all in the mind! If you want to beat ah!
So what the hell can I pair a game like Parappa the Rapper with? Well, I had to dig deep, and for the rhythm genre, I look at this as something that's really caters to a specific audience who's really going to enjoy it, and the more casual fans may not play these type of games. So I went with a sour beer, more specifically an American Wild Ale, in the Elysian Brewing's Hawaiian Sunburn. So what makes this beer special? It's a pineapple habanero sour. Sour beers are unique enough, but to throw in pineapple and habanero, you're gonna have some crazy flavors going together. That's the only thing I could think of when pairing it with such a crazy goddamn game. So, grab a 6-pack if you can find them, and try out this game if you want. But remember to drink your beers and play your games responsibly. Cheers, guys. As always, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you give us a thumbs up, leave some comments, or better yet, why not subscribe? Till next time, guys, cheers.